Getting good at guitar is a journey. And depending on where you are on that journey, you need to focus on different things. Whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or more advanced player. So I'm going to share how to actually get to the different levels and what I believe are the most important things to focus on in each phase. My name is Simen, and I'm a guitarist, music producer, and graphic designer from Norway. I'm here to share everything I learned so far in my journey and document what I learned in real time. And since we are covering the whole guitar journey, we're obviously not going into super detail into everything, but instead we're going to focus on a bigger picture, because it's important to zoom out before we can zoom in. Let's start, well, from the beginning, the beginner phase. And the thing here is that everything is new, which means basically that everything is hard. But what does that actually mean? What should you do to get better at guitar? Well, in a beginner phase, I think the most important thing is to simply get in the reps. Get in the reps. You want to get used to play the guitar, so you just want to play as much as possible. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is simply to learn songs you like, learn simple songs, and just have fun. I wouldn't worry too much about playing fancy exercises and learning a lot of theory at this point. You can, of course, if you want to. But the most important thing is just to get used to playing the guitar, because that will take some time. So just learn a lot of songs and get in the reps. I see a lot of beginners especially stress about what they should practice to maximize their results. But honestly, I think the best thing you can do is to just play guitar a lot. Get in the reps. So action steps from the beginner phase. That's simply to learn songs you like. That's the first one. And the next one is to learn the basics. So nothing fancy, but it's useful to know basic technique, like how you hold your pick, basic picking technique, basic fretting hand technique, that kind of stuff. The next one is basic open chords, like these ones. Just your normal open chords. And thirdly, it's also good to know some basic scales, especially the minor pentatonic scale. And if you're feeling fancy, the next scale you could look at is the major scale. So, learn songs you like and learn the basics. Nothing fancy at this point, just focus on getting in the reps. Then let's go to the intermediate phase. At this point you are quite used to the guitar, you feel comfortable with the guitar, and you also have some basic skills and knowledge. And in this phase, I think the most important thing is to start to get a good understanding of the guitar. So what I mean is to learn some basic theory to understand how chords and scales work and how everything is connected. So the most important theory at this point is first understanding the major scale, because that is really the foundation for all Western music. And after the major scale, you want to learn the theory behind chords and how chords work. And the reason you want to learn some theory and get a better understanding is that you are going to see that everything on guitar is connected. So I can play a C major chord. At the same place, I can play a C major scale. I can play a C major 7 arpeggio. And you can keep doing this on the whole neck. But my point is that once you understand some of the theory, then everything will make more sense and kind of fall in place. And if you want to learn the theory behind the major scale and chords specifically, I cover everything you need to know on my website, playwithaplan.com. You also get access to all my other courses to get better at guitar. So this is the place to be if you want more clarity and consistent progress in your playing. So that's playwithaplan.com. The link is going to be in the description. One challenge with the intermediate phase is the intermediate plateau, which I've probably heard about. And one of the reasons you get to the intermediate plateau is just that you lack understanding. And in the intermediate phase, there is a lot of stuff to understand. That's why it can be so hard as well. Because if you don't understand the theory behind what you're doing, at least the basic theory, it's going to be challenging to get into more complex stuff. And in this phase, it's also important to put some more effort into your technique, because it's not enough to just know a lot of cool stuff. you need to be able to actually play it as well. So action steps in this phase is to especially learn basic theory and understand how everything is connected. You especially want to learn the theory behind the major scale and then how chords are built. In this phase, you should also have a bigger focus on technique. And next, we have the advanced phase. At this point, you have a good technique foundation, and you also have a very good understanding of the guitar. And this makes it possible to understand context. So now you understand what you can play in different situations. So let's say you're playing over an A major chord. Earlier, you probably just knew this one. And later, you understand that you can play the A major across the neck as well. But in the advanced phase, it's much clearer for you what kind of options you have when you get a chord, for example. And action steps at this point, I would say, is to keep building your technique, because technique is very important. And secondly, it's a very good opportunity to dive deeper into any topics that you are interested in. For example, if you like the minor pentatonic scale, which is one of the most basic things you can learn, then you can dive deeper into the minor pentatonic scale, because there is really not any finish line when it comes to learning guitar. To conclude, we have talked about the 3 phases of guitar playing. Beginner, where the most important thing is to get in the reps and get used to the guitar. Intermediate, where we want to focus on getting a good understanding of the guitar. And advanced, where we want to be good at understanding context and what you can play in different situations. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and if you enjoyed this video, you should check out the video on the screen next. Bye!